You know, hi. Jupiter Ascending. I told you I was going to see it, so I saw it, and now I'm back to talk about it. This movie's had a lot of things go wrong with it before it even came out. It was delayed for 6 months because apparently test screenings did not go well at all. There was some filming issues that went on set, things like that. There's a lot of stuff that goes on with it, and everything I have been hearing of this movie up until I saw it today was just horrible. Eddie Redmayne is giving like one of the worst performances, like legendarily bad performances ever. It's just a horrible plot. It's just stupid. It makes no sense. Just it's a bad movie. Like like Legend of Hercules bad. Like Battlefield Earth bad. One of those types of movies. So I have to say, I'm actually kind of disappointed that it's not as bad as it was being made out to be for me. It's bad. It is. But it's an enjoyable bad. This was a hilarious train wreck to watch. Oh, man, I actually had a lot of fun with this movie. Again, it is bad. It is not a good movie. It's nice to look at. I won't say the visual effects aren't good. Mostly. There's some green screen effects that are shit, but other than that, though, the effects are generally pretty good. Oh man, where do I start with this? So, the movie is essentially about this girl who was born, and she's apparently the reincarnated version of a queen of this galactic dynasty. Sorry, there was some background noise, so I got distracted for a second. But no, this like the galactic dynasty of people. It's I'll go into some of the weird details in just a minute, but essentially, Galactic Dynasty people, she's a reincarnated queen, the current heir who owns Earth, because basically planets are property in this world. Was basically wants her dead. He's played by Eddie Redmayne. Girl's played by Mila Kunis. A ex-soldier played by Channing Tatum comes in to save her. And now they gotta stop the guy, and she has to find her place in the universe, and so forth and so on, and it gets really convoluted really fucking fast. This is done by the Wachowskis, who are most obviously well known for the Matrix series, and it shows. It's style over substance once again, and like the Matrix, it is visually very well done effects. But it's just, the story is just stupid. It really is. This we don't even get the space for the first, 10-15 minutes of the film. Because the opening of the film, dealing the background of Mila Kunis' birth, and then revealing where she is in the world, and she's basically just with her Russian immigrant family, a maid, going throughout the, just doing chores, and she hates her life and shit like that. And then we get introduced to the other people, just randomly. By the way, just randomly goes to a planet. We're like, where the fuck are we? And then we're on this very pristine planet that was harvested. The reason for the whole planetary harvests, the reason for, I wouldn't say property, power and wealth is the term they used, is that they harvest something called nectar. And it goes by name. They say it goes by many names. It's like nectar, like regenerative or something. Basically, it's used to keep them young. These humans, they're humans. They say they are humans. Are like thousands of millennia years old. Like literally, the queen that Mila Kunis is reincarnated as died at the age of 91,000. And she was murdered, so she didn't die of natural causes. So that's the stuff they use to basically stay young and all that shit. It's basically made from every 100 people makes a canister of that shit. So basically, it's Soylent Green is people, but rich nectar is people, regenerative is people. I'm just like, wow, I was okay. So there's that. Then it gets really convoluted really fast. Because Channing Tatum is brought in, and he's what's called a spliced. Which essentially is humans mixed with DNA of animals from the indigenous habitat. In this case, it's a wolf. So the whole half werewolf thing I thought I heard apparently is incorrect. He's just like part wolf. That being said, he's got pointy ears and canines and constantly got a goatee. First off, the whole level of convolutedness in this movie is staggering. So first off, they are basically immortal so long as they, are absorbed. They grow populations on planets and then harvest them. Jupiter, the whole fucking swirls of hurricanes, it reveals to be a whole network of like a station essentially. There's these little aliens that they look like Greys essentially, that wipe minds and stuff like that and that shit. There's this whole subplot with their family that is very, very minor and very, very stupid. The family does not need to be there at all. They're just there to give her. They're there for plot convenience to make her go and face the Eddie Redmayne character. Plus, there's a subplot of Channing Tatum and Sean Bean were once part of this. Let's say they're called a Legionnaire. Essentially, they were like the elite of elite soldiers and stuff like that. And then they want to get their wings back, literally, because man, it is actually in my positives, but it's a really it's a very backhanded positive that they used to be basically like a kind of like an Air Force guard sort of. They literally had biometric cybernetic wings that they were attached to their backs, and that's one of the things they wanted to get back. So okay, so that's not even half the stuff in the movie that's convoluted. That's just stuff I can remember. So I've gone on about the convolutedness of this movie. Now, the effects are generally really fucking good. There's some few instances of really bad green screen going on, but generally speaking, the designs are cool, I think. There's some great effects. The action sequences, when they aren't shaky camming it up, which unfortunately happens a couple times, because a couple times I couldn't see what was going on. Apart from that, though, the action scenes are actually pretty good. There is stuff to like in this movie. And unfortunately, that really plays into one of my big negatives about the movie, is that this has had such potential to be really fucking good sci-fi. There are so many things with this, because I talked about Spliced. The Channing Tatum character is spliced with a Genetics wolf. They did that with so many other people. Apparently Sean Bean is actually spliced with a fucking bee. I don't get that. Why is he spliced with a bee? There's nothing bee about him, except the fact he hangs out with bees and apparently can see things really differently, I suppose. But you also see there's Eddie Redmayne's main advisor is part rat. There's these lizard dragon guys who are essentially guards and stuff like that for Eddie Redmayne and these guys. I'm like, dude, that's fucking cool. Channing Tatum, one of them get into a fight. It's awesome. It's actually a really cool fight. Some of the dialogue is complete and utter crap. That line you see in the trailer is I have more in common with a dog than I do with you. I love dogs. I've always loved dogs. And then he walks away. And even she basically realizes that was such a shitty line. The character does, not Miley Kunis. I think Miley Kunis kind of knew that was a bad line too. Just say, I love dogs. And Channing Tatum's got these basically he's got gravity boots. He can literally fly and surf on air on gravity boots. And that's awesome. He got this energy shield that pops out of his wrist. He's got this cool little gun. It's just a standard laser gun, but it's still an awesome laser pistol. There's this vibrating sonic sound gun one of these guys has. The ships, they've literally got a emergency spacesuit that's got 45 minutes worth of oxygen in it. Where you go boom and it's just instant spacesuit. Just add water. I'm there's so many cool ideas that are being thrown around in this movie, and it's all really wasted in this movie because the writing is horrible. The writing's absolutely horrible. And oh my god, Eddie Redmayne. I'll get into all the main characters in just a minute, but I have to touch on Eddie Redmayne right now. As I said in the Lost World or the Jurassic World video, reaction video, I've been hearing that the performance he gives in this movie is among those legendarily bad performances, like right up there with John Travolta, Battlefield Earth. Right up there with like anything that Pauly Shore did. One of those performances. And my God, although this movie is nowhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be, it is one of those hilariously bad performances. It really is. He's talking like this throughout most of the movie. So hoarse, so whispered, except when he has to be over the top for no random reason. Ah! But then he talks again like this, always. Oh my God, this man has no idea what subtlety is in this movie. And the man is up for an Oscar for freaking Theory of Everything as Stephen Hawking. Where did you go wrong, Eddie? Where did you go wrong? Oh my God. I can't talk about it enough. Before I go on, I have to recommend anyone who wants to see this. Go see this for how bad it actually is. But how fun it is too, because it is a lot of fun. It's fun watching how bad Eddie Redmayne is. It really is, especially if you've seen Theory of Everything and realize how good an actor he is. It makes you wonder what the hell he was smoking on set to act this way. Oh man. But I mean, the main cast, there's Eddie Redmayne, there's and I just touched on Eddie Redmayne, but obviously Mila Kunis is the lead, and she's not great. She's not horrible, but she's not great. She's whatever. I like Mila Kunis, and Mila Kunis is actually a good actor. If you've actually seen her things like Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Ted, Black Swan, she actually is a very competent actress. Unfortunately, bad writing you can only go so far with the shitty writing, and the dialogue in this is really bad at points. But she has her moments. She does. Honestly, once we get into space, the movie does pick up, because when we're just set on Earth, in fact, not even when we're set on Earth, for like the first 20 minutes of the film, it really does not work at all. You're like, where's the fucking sci-fi action we were promised and shit like that? Because it starts off with her as Cinderella, basically, except it's just she works a horrible job. She does. She lives with Russian immigrants. She has to work a lot. All that shit. It's just that. And so, yeah, she's cleaning toilets. And then she's, at the end of the movie, spoiler, they save the day. She still ends up cleaning toilets. But, she's living her life a lot more now. And she gets with the Channing Tatum character. The Channing Tatum character, okay. Now, I'll actually say I liked the Channing Tatum character fine. I mean, he's kind of a one-dimensional character, but it worked for the style of acting Channing Tatum often does, and Channing Tatum made the most of it. He still has bits of humor that kind of show through. It's just like, okay, they trained me, because she basically puts, like, after he rescues her when she's almost killed the first time, he's got her safe in, like, a building, and she has a gun next to her. It's like, I thought it'd make you more safe. By the way, if you want that to work, flip the trigger. Okay, let's take it easy. It's like, where is it? Now you were attacked, and okay, they taught me how to deal with this scenario in the Legionnaire. Okay. So, you're not the only ones. This has to be a dream. I believe they actually said in the training for this that people often say this is just a dream. Like, okay, it's subtle. It's a kind of a subtle humor, and it is Channing Tatum. But Channing Tatum really has come a long way as an actor, and I wouldn't say I'm a big Channing Tatum fan, but I have grown to like Channing Tatum, and I would say he is one of the better parts of this movie. Him and Sean Bean. Sean Bean is great in anything he fucking is in, and he is great in this movie. Sean Bean is he's this rugged, Han Solo-esque kind of ex-cop who worked, or kind of ex-cop. They were the Channing Tatum, him, are ex-cops, and they worked in the Legionnaire, flying police where they had biometric mechanical wings. And that's another thing. They talk about that and getting their wings back. We don't get any payoff for that at all, except for the end where Channing Tatum has his wings back. And they look cool, and he gets to fly and stuff like that. But I'm like, you should have had these, halfway through the movie. You should have had these back halfway through the movie. You and Sean Bean should have just been, decked out in your angel wings. And then, go flying into battle and stuff like that. But no, we don't. We get, not even a minute of him with his wings. I'm like, oh, again, another wasted concept. But no, Channing Tatum, he's cool. He plays that very kind of quiet, gruff badass pretty well. But he's got some good lines and stuff like that. For the good lines that are in the movie, he's got some decent lines, and he's got good expression act. He's got good facial acting going on. So overall, he's fine. And Sean Bean, again, I can't say enough about Sean. I love Sean Bean in anything I fucking see him in. I feel like he is playing like, let's say if Alex from GoldenEye, the 006, survived and decided, you know what, okay, I retired and stuff like that, except he was in space with wings, stuff like that. I feel like that's more of the character he's playing, or the character he plays in Legends, the TV series. I kind of feel like he's playing that character. He's just a bad man. I loved him. Sean Bean, I'll watch it in anything. And then, of course, there's three, like, heirs. Eddie Redmayne's the main one, except he disappears, like, halfway through the film. We don't see him again until, like, the last third of the film, so that was weird. Then the other two are, hold on, there's Titus, who is the one who hires Channing Tatum to get Mila Kunis, who's played by Douglas Booth. And he's subtle, seductive, whatever. I didn't care about him much. Neither did I care about the other one, Calicu, maybe. Played by, oh, come on. Twopence Middleton? I didn't care about them. Most of those characters I just didn't care about. I mean, there's the crew, the Edgerton, I think it's called the ship's name, who they're all kind of quirky-ish, sort of. They're all military-esque. They're okay. But no, of the four main cast members, Mila Kunis is she's alright. I'll honestly go saying she's alright. Channing Tatum, I love Sean Bean, and Eddie Redmayne is worth the price alone just to see how bad a performance he gives. And I can honestly say this is, before I really go into anything else, this is one of the only movies you'll ever see Sean Bean in where he does not die. He did not die in this movie. I'm like, I'm disappointed and glad all at the same time. Because many people joke Sean Bean has it in the contract to die in every movie he's in. If you watch any movie with Sean Bean, there are very few he makes it out of. He does not make it out of many alive. So, yes, I've gone on about this movie. It's not good, but god damn it if it's not fun. So I'll give my final rating in just a minute. I got actually quite a few new trailers. Three technical new trailers. Actually only technical one new trailer, but I've seen all the other ones, I just haven't got them in theater to talk about. A new trailer for Focus. A lot of the same stuff. The Will Smith, Margot Robbie one comes out this month. Con Artists and, the games they play and, what happens if you lose the game kind of thing. It's a game of Focus. Title drop. I actually think it looks pretty decent. Hopefully it'll be pretty good, especially since Margot Robbie and Will Smith are going to be in Suicide Squad as Deadshot and Harley Quinn, so here's hoping this does well enough that does not hurt Suicide Squad. So that's what I got. Now this is a trailer that came out recently called Spy. It's got Melissa McCarthy, Jude Law, Jason Statham. Basically Statham, Jude Law, they're CIA agents basically. And basically there's a nuke that needs to be found, and the person they need to kind of get knows all the agents currently in the CIA somehow. And Melissa McCarthy is the one that, because she's basically an analyst, is the one that goes in instead and, tries to be the hero. And obviously she's going to be the hero and all that shit and whatever. I've been on record saying I don't like Melissa McCarthy a lot. Does not look that bad. I think a part of that has to be because of Jude Law and Jason Statham, because I like both those actors. I don't know. It doesn't look terrible, I suppose. I don't know. I will give it the benefit of the doubt when I see it. Hopefully Jason Statham and Jude Law can keep me from not liking Melissa McCarthy. And again, she could do okay. I liked her in St. Vincent. I thought she actually did well in that. So it's not impossible by any stretch of means. And she doesn't look like she's playing that Tammy-esque Melissa McCarthy character, or like the Mike and Molly and stuff like that. But actually, no. She just, because after watching some Mike and Molly, I can say she's a bit more of that Mike and Molly character. But but I'm also I'm going off topic, but I've also said after having watched Mike and Molly, I can honestly say I don't think the movie that it's a bad show. It's actually okay. I just don't watch it regularly. Then I got Run All Night. Now I've had this trailer before online. I watched the trailer online before, and it's actually a pretty good trailer. And it looks like a fun movie. It's another Liam Neeson movie. It's another Liam Neeson's a badass movie. So another check in the bank. But whatever. If he enjoys doing them, God bless him for it. We love him for it. It's Liam Neeson, Ed Harris against each other, and right there I'm like, sold. Take my money now. Apparently, Ed Harris. I don't know if Ed Harris is like a cop or like a cop with the mob or just part of the mob or something like a gangster of some kind. Him and Liam Neeson have history together in some form or fashion in that sense. I was going to assume like gangster-esque. And Liam Neeson kills his son because his son was going to kill his son, Liam Neeson's son. So now Ed Harris is out for revenge to get them, and they're running all night. Hence the name of the movie. And Liam Neeson's just blowing people away. There's a great scene at the end of the trailer where he's got a Winchester, and it's just it's a cock action. So it's just gets the gun, boom, just awesome shot there. It's like, yeah, Liam Neeson, you're badass against Ed Harris. Hell yeah, I'm down. So that actually looks pretty decent. That comes out, I think, in March. So here's hoping I don't have to deal with anything in March that will prevent me from seeing it. Last one I got is another movie I've seen before, the trailer for anyway. And I've seen a full trailer. This was a shortened down trailer for The Lazarus Effect. Now, it's basically playing God. It's got Olivia Wilde and a bunch of other actors I don't recognize. Essentially, they have a serum that can resurrect the dead, but at a price, shit goes awry. And I've seen the actual full trailer, so I'll talk about that instead. It doesn't look bad, but horror's not my genre usually. I like Olivia Wilde a lot. It's basically it's a combination of like The Reanimator and a possession movie, because that's essentially what happens. She dies. She talks about she saw hell or something like that. She saw the afterlife or something like that. And something happens, whether that's, she's not normal and she's like doing shit with her mind. So it's just basically, it's more or less she's probably possessed. Which is, if you're going to do The Lazarus, there's so many other things you could have done besides a possession movie right there. So, I don't know. But that's all I got. My final thoughts, Jupiter Ascending is not as bad as I think people are going to be making it out to be. In fact, I think it's even going to do well enough this weekend because of the word of mouth how bad it is. People need to see how bad it is. So I think it's going to do well on that volition alone. However, it's still bad, but it's so fun how bad it is. It really is. So I recommend it, honestly, just going for a watch. Either rent it, or if you really want to see it in theater, don't pay 3D. I will say that right now. Don't pay 3D for this movie, because the effects work will give you a headache. It's fast. The effects work is good when you can see it. The action is good when you can see it, but it is fast. So do not wear 3D glasses with this movie. I'm giving it about a 4.5. 4 for the general of the movie. Actually, I'd say it's probably about about a 4 with some of the action and effects are good. So on that volition alone, I'd give it probably like a 3.5. The acting it verges from decent to horrendous and amazingly horrendous. So on that, I give it the extra 1. So yeah, 4.5. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. If you want us to review something, put it in the comments below. Let us know. And I will be back probably on Saturday after movie news, seeing Seventh Son, and hopefully I'll be seeing that with Mark. Hopefully Mark will be joining me for that one, because Mark said he wanted to see that one more as opposed, more so than he wanted to see this. So thanks for watching. We'll see you for the next one, and I hope you have a good evening.